Welcome to Redtastic. Story 1. Hi there, I'm Twinkle, 25 female. I have a big brother called Joel, 29 male. I have decided to take Joel to court over an issue that is driving me nuts, and he thinks I am the major a-hole here. Here is some background story to help you have an overview of how everything started. There are just 2 of us left in our family now. I was told our mom died at labor when I was born, so we grew up without a mom as dad refused to remarry again. But an unfortunate thing happened 6 months ago. Our dad also passed away. He had been sick for a while though. Now after his death, there was nothing like a will left behind for us. The fact that we survived till now is even a miracle, I would say. Dad has struggled all his life to take care of us single-handedly. However, he started a 2-story apartment building intended for us before he passed away. This is how everything started. After Dad's funeral, I suggested to Joel that we try and complete the building and stay in, but he refused and told me he preferred the first floor. The thing is, Dad was almost done with the first floor before his death, so I had no option but to mobilize some funds and complete the building all by myself. I used up almost my entire savings to undertake this project. When I was done, I went ahead to furnish my apartment as well. But about a month after completing my apartment, I had the opportunity to study abroad, so I left for further studies. Now here is the real deal at hand. I came back home only to realize that someone was in my apartment. I mean someone I don't know. I was well beyond furious. I angrily asked them to pack up and leave, only for them to tell me that the apartment was rented out to them by my brother. Why on earth would he do that to me? He wasn't around, so I called him up, and when he came, he argued that what he did was a genius idea. He claimed since I would be away for a while, it would be a waste if I locked up the empty room. Guys, I almost slapped him. When I asked him why he didn't call to inform me before renting my apartment, he claimed the building was something Dad left behind for both of us, so he didn't have to consult me before making decisions as such. And he was my big brother. Joel's outburst didn't help my anger subside in any way. It only fueled it. He had the nerve to call it our building, conveniently forgetting how he refused to help me complete it. I asked Joel where my stuff was kept, and his reply almost got me crushing to the floor. He rented out the room as a furnished apartment. I told him all his words were bullshit, so he should move his tenants out of my room to his own immediately. He said he couldn't because he had taken an advance payment for 3 years. How could he just rent out my apartment for 3 years without notifying me first? As for the money he took from them, he had already squandered it on some useless stuff. When I asked him where he wanted me to stay for the night, he said I could use his guest room. But when I got there, I was astonished. The room had no furniture at all. When I asked him, he brought me a blanket to sleep on. At that instance, I guess I had reached my breaking point, because I told him I was taking the issue to court to get back what was rightfully mine, unless he kicked out his tenants and returned my apartment to me in one piece. Joel called me an effing a-hole for even coming up with the idea of taking legal action against him over the apartment. I told him I was freaking serious about it. I spent the night at a hotel. I called him the next day and he still showed no remorse. So I took the issue to court and he is still bitter and calling me unreasonable for my actions. So am I really unreasonable for taking legal charges against Joel over the apartment issue? I will keep you all updated on any developments in court. Update. Hey everyone, here is an update on my issue. It's been 3 long years since I took the issue to court, and I recently won the compensation and attorney fees from my brother. But he wants me to let it go and waive the compensation because he has taken a personal loan that he needs to pay, so adding up the compensation would ruin him. I said no, and he has refused to talk to me since then, but I care less. His tenant would be packing out in a week, and I can't wait to take back my apartment. I dread to imagine how messed up my apartment's inside would be though. Anyway, thank you for your comments and support. You're not the a-hole, OP. Your brother is. His decision to not help you complete the building was horrible, but then again, you couldn't force it on him. However, not realizing that since he didn't help with the cost of completing the building, that meant that the top floor was all yours, makes him either very ignorant or a terrible person. He even went ahead to rent out your apartment for 3 years without consulting you. He deserves every penny he lost on that lawsuit because he's an awful brother and person. I hope your apartment isn't in bad shape. Good luck, OP. Story 2. I, 17, am living with my brother, 23 male, and my mother, 45 female, in a 3-bedroom home. Every single aspect of our house is overseen by my brother. He's extremely cheap with his money and requires us to use a system he created where we trade him monopoly money for goods in the house. This includes paper plates, paper towels, toilet paper, toothpaste, snacks, drinks, and anything else that normally would be in cabinets in a house. He stores in his closet. My brother works and contributes to about 5% of the groceries in the house. My mom supporting us with the other 95% from her retirement fund from the Navy. He justifies him buying a couple items means he gets to control all the goods in the house. We've been doing this system for about 4 months now, and I'm at my wit's end. I feel absolutely demeaned when I need to keep track and use monopoly money when I need some dental floss or toilet paper. I use a lot because I get frequent nosebleeds, so I often run out of money and need to use old rags from my garage. We are by no means poor. My mom is just frugal, nowhere to the extent of my brother, but she buys anything we need and we have everything we need. But my brother holds it behind his closet and guards it like a security guard. It's ridiculous. So earlier today, I ran out of toothpaste, so I went to my brother with the torn monopoly money. We've had this same game for 5 years, so the money is worn as well. And he said it's unusable because of its condition. I told him he's being a complete a-hole and he has a god complex for caring so much about a made-up currency. My mom has this kind of keep the peace viewpoint with us, so she goes along with the system and sneaks me snacks and things that she needs to buy secretly. Because my brother waits for our mom to get back from the store by the front door and helps her bring them all up to his room. She's upset that we're fighting and has kindly asked if this is something worth arguing for. After that, I've been thinking about it a lot and need advice. So Reddit, am I the a-hole here? Not the a-hole, OP. I cannot stress enough that this level of control is not normal and abusive. He is not in charge. He is not a parent. Even then, you should not have to ask for permission for basic needs. I'm not really sure if this would help since there may be reasons why this hasn't stopped already, but maybe try sitting down with your mom and have a serious conversation on why this needs to stop and how to confront your brother about it. Good luck. Now for some comments. Not the a-hole, OP. You need to make it very clear to your mother she is allowing your brother to abuse you by enabling it. You are a minor. She has the financial ability to maintain your hygiene and feed you. She is not keeping the peace. She is making a case against herself for child protective services. The only possible compromise is he gets 5% of items to himself. Personally, I would cut the top bit of each item and place them in a bag for him. But in seriousness, your mother needs to step up and shut this down immediately. Obviously not the a-hole, but your mother and brother definitely are. She's paying for almost all the goods, but she's still letting your brother have almost complete control over you by doing this. Your brother is a control freak and your mom needs to do something to stop it. If she won't, I strongly recommend getting a job soon so you'll be able to get your own items without having to go to your brother. It's a shitty situation, OP. I'm sorry. Not the a-hole. The older brother sounds kind of abusive, mentally and emotionally. Imagine getting a bloody nose and having to use a dirty rag from the garage because you're fresh out of Monopoly box. I almost thought this post was fake because it sounds so ridiculous. If I was OP, I would shit in his closet so I don't have to take his precious toilet paper out of the store. You know what? Maybe it's a good thing I don't have siblings. OP, you need to crack down on this behavior now. Your mom needs to recognize that this is not normal behavior and address it like a parent would. He's what, 23? He's well beyond the age of running a lemonade stand. I'm just imagining a 23-year-old man standing at the door to take the family's groceries up to his room. He believes they are his to own and distribute when he only contributes 5% to the household. Someone get this buffoon. Story 3. My partner and I have lived together since March 2019. He is always on the phone to his mom and his siblings. He also goes out with them a lot. I don't have a good relationship with them. They never fully accepted me for being from a different nationality. So he always goes on his own. A few months ago, we got a car. Since then, he goes over 4 to 5 times a week and can sometimes spend a weekend or a week over. This leaves me at home with all the duties, including doing all the cleaning, washing, paying bills, and looking after our kittens. I have also been dealing with some health issues brought over due to a mix of stress at home and work. Today, he had an interview, and while originally he was coming back home, he went to his parents. He then told me he was staying over, but I asked him to come back tonight if possible. His parents asked if I was okay and why I was asking for him to come back. He came back, albeit begrudgingly. When he arrived, he recriminated me and said that I need to get used to being alone and that he does not understand why he needs to come back tonight to our place. Tenancy both under our names. Other than my sister and him, I have no one else and I'm all alone. As my mom passed away, I don't have a relationship with my dad. Am I the a-hole for asking him to come back home when he was spending time with his parents? Now for some comments. Not the a-hole. My mother lived your life and has nothing to show for it except for a failed marriage, 2 emotionally damaged daughters, and ill health. The fact that he has no problem with them being racist, xenophobic towards you is a deal breaker in and of itself. He wants you to get used to being alone. Fine, dump him and build yourself back up. Not the a-hole. These are red flags. You're not now, nor will you ever be one of the most important people in his life. You either need to get used to being alone while you're with someone, or think about yourself and be alone with you on your own, knowing that you are the most important person in your life. If not, you're setting yourself for a lifetime of loneliness from your partner in the home you share. Not the a-hole, but take a long, hard look at this relationship and consider if it's really right for you for life. Are you prepared to live like this forever? And if you have kids, will he still be leaving you behind while they all visit his family? Or he goes and leaves you to take care of the kids? Sounds like you like the relationship, that is not being alone, more than you actually like him. But while you're tied to him, you're not available to meet someone else and their family who will actually welcome you into their lives full time.